You're now listening to the Palmetto Dugout Show, hosted by State Director Sammy Esposito, Associate Scouts Drew Stewart and Sean Smith, that discuss all things related to amateur baseball in South Carolina. Here are your hosts.
Welcome into episode 85 of the Palmetto Dugout Show. No Austin today. He's celebrating. We got Coach Espo, though. What's going on, Coach?
Coach, what's going on? We doing all right today?
We're doing great after a big week.
Big week, a lot of action. Hey, big shout out. Happy Mother's Day. Big shout out to all the moms out there. You know, none of us would be, obviously, for the obvious reasons, would be where we're at without them. But regardless, right, the moms do all the hard labor and the work out there of getting all of us and getting all the kids around all the games and doing all the stuff. So big shout out and happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. It's a great day. Every day should be Mother's Day, but we'll just choose this day to celebrate them, even though we celebrate them every day.
Yeah, special happy Mother's Day. Another shout out to Florence Darlington Tech, Coach. You're going to Grand Junction.
Big time shout out. Flodar doing it again. Coach PMAC, Preston McDonald takes another talented team, goes up to New York this time, and wins in a hard-fought battle. Goes into Game 3 and wins up there against a talented team, but their depth and talent took them to the top and back off to Grand Junction. JUCO World Series, here we go. Little old South Carolina just keeps on winning. Don't matter what level it is.
About the only team in the state that won a game this week.
Yeah. It was a tough one. It was a tough one for some teams playing out-of-state teams.
Hey, it's okay, though.
It happens.
It happens to the best of them.
Yeah.
To the best of them. Coach, the show is loaded with bull, as we like to say here. A lot of controversial plays, controversial games. We do have special guests joining us in about 8 minutes. We'll let you see that live. I hate Austin's going to miss it because it's his role model and idol.
This show was set up and built for Austin today, and Austin couldn't make it. You know, it's when we go live, it's you either in or out, and he's obviously out today. I'm assuming he's celebrating today. That's my guess. Maybe we'll get some comments from him. Maybe he'll drop a comment. While he did tell us he'll be watching, so maybe he'll drop a comment. I doubt it, but you never know. We'll see what he can get. But this show is built for him. And talking with him earlier in the week, he was fired up regarding the show. Thought we had a ton to talk about, a ton to cover,
and he missed
out.
He
no-shows us. But it's it's all right. He adapt and overcome. You know what I mean?
The vacation director is back. we another special shout out to all those wonderful high school parents that catch us in the middle of the games and tell us they watch live every Sunday. Got some at It Ain't Easy yesterday. They looked at me and said, "You're that guy." I am that guy.
So, you're him. You're him.
You're him. You're him. We appreciate you guys joining the show.
I don't think there's been a game one of us have been to that somebody hasn't mentioned that. So obviously, like you said, a big shout out to all the listeners, all the watchers, the viewers out there. So it's obviously we might have rerouted ourselves if we didn't have all you guys out there kind of following us and seeing what we're yapping about here on these Sunday nights. But it makes it fun for us. We get to come on here and have some fun and screw around and talk a little high school baseball and whatever the hell else we talk about. But it makes it neat when people come up to us. Last year is the concession report. Now this year it's the live podcast. So
it's just the entertainment factor.
pure entertainment. We don't even know what we're talking about half the time, but I'll tell you what we ain't talking about today. WWE. I'll go ahead and we'll scratch that one off. So sorry, Austin.
Nobody's at the Masters today either on hole 16. I did get a text last night. If Austin was on the show, he's not, but they were saying he needed to have a Green Boys background.
I guess that's why he's got the Masters, I guess. Austin claimed he's going to get on early enough to then adapt and change his background. He doesn't do it, but he just keeps playing the Masters.
I told the guy that he will, but I'll have that. It ain't easy background.
Speaking of that,
on papers.
Time out. We'd be making money right now if we'd have went out there and put this thing in under our name here. We're newspaper, it ain't easy. Everybody coming up to us saying it ain't easy. I guess it ain't too late. Somebody's about to do it because we're talking about it now. But I see it all over Twitter, see it all over Instagram, the newspaper. It ain't, and it all came from it ain't easy being from easily. Then it went to beating easily, and now it's everything. It don't matter what it is. Sometimes it ain't easy getting easily. You know what I mean?
Here we go. Here we go.
Look at
Here we go.
Look at him, boys. Austin's in the building.
He's here.
He's here in spirit.
What field are we at? Looks like Folly Field there.
Yeah. The Green Boys is down, and he should be here today because of his dogs. Came into little old South Carolina, took care of business this weekend.
Yeah, he just.
But the good thing is we don't have to hear about that a little bit. But
no, we don't.
What are you gonna do? It ain't easy. It ain't easy. It ain't easy listening to Austin Easy either sometimes.
And it ain't easy for Austin to join the show. Coach, we got some comments rolling through on Instagram here. Let's jump in to some 1A playoffs here before we have our special guest come on, and then we'll talk about his classification. So 1A Upper State, as it currently stands, Southside Christian is in the driver's seat. Christ Church will host St. Joe's here on Monday. Coach, we all pick Southside. Do we see them coming out again?
I mean, I think if we all had to bet some money on this one, I think we bet the house on that one. I mean, they're and this isn't a knock on any other teams. That we just think Southside's extremely talented group, and especially some of how these games, and they're lining up good, but some of these how they're getting backed up with these rains and giving people more rest in there. But I think Southside continues and moves on.
Yeah, I think Southside's biggest hurdle might have been the Louisville Lions with the arm they had. And they cruised through that. So I think they get through this one pretty easily too. Don't think they've had a close one yet on this side. And then your 1A Lower State. How about this? Lakeview takes down East Clarendon. And Latta, who finished 4th in their region, is now sitting in a winner's bracket game.
Coach, the people knew something. The people were voting for Latta.
Hey.
So the people knew. I'm sticking with Lakeview. I think that was my pick. I'm sticking with Lakeview. We'll see if my boy Cujo can bring the boys back down there from East Clarendon, kind of roll through that losers bracket side down there. But I mean, Lakeview, watch out now.
So I think we all went Lakeview.
I can see that, right? My eyeballs are going on me.
I think we all went Lakeview for the Lower State Championship. However, Austin says he can join now, but won't have video. Come on, text him back. Tell him, Coach, come on. I don't want him to miss the special guest.
You can't miss this.
So, and Austin's the only one that had Lakeview winning the 1A state championship. We both had Southside Christian, which I think, Coach, still going to hold here with Southside taking it. Look at here. See, we ended just in time on the 1A to bring our guest in. So let's take this off. Coach Spivey, our special guest. Spivey. What's going on, Coach?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Coach, what's happening today? We appreciate you joining us on this wonderful Mother's Day here.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
we're trying to get you didn't realize it, but we're trying to get your volunteer pitching coach to join us right now, but he's having probably some technical difficulties while he's probably driving down the road somewhere. So we're trying to get Coach Smith to join us. You didn't realize he's your pitching coach, but maybe you did. I don't know. Maybe he's been making some calls.
Here he is.
When he got that pullover, I thought he might be on for good.
Coach Smith, this is why we needed you here today. So welcome to the show there, Coach Smith.
I'm ashamed that I missed this. I'm sorry. But now that I see what the surprise was, I'm glad I was able to join.
My feelings are a little hurt you're not on.
Coach, I'm sorry. If they gave me enough heads up, we might could have rearranged Mother's Day or something. I don't know.
That's why it's called a special guest. And, you know, it was either going to be Coach Spivey or The Rock. We didn't know, so we wanted Coach Spivey to get you on here, Coach Smith. Austin, are you out there? And where are you driving from? Where are you at right now? He gone.
Austin, you gone?
Yeah.
You must be driving through Green Boy country. Coach Spivey, first off, congratulations on making Lower State Championship. Big season for you guys.
Thank you. These guys have played their tail off every night, and you know, the noise only gets louder. So they've been really focused, and it's been good.
My biggest question here is, how are you keeping these guys motivated? You've had so much success this year. You keep winning. How are you continuing to motivate them?
I don't know that at this point in the season you have to do any motivating. They know what's at stake. This is I guess we're kind of playing with house money a little bit, because I think we're a little ahead of schedule in terms of what this team was capable of. And we just practice hard every day. I think I tell them every single day that they don't practice very well. They're not very good in practice, but you know, they show up on game day and they compete their tails off, and that's been our biggest thing, is that they just compete.
Yeah, no doubt. Espo.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, coming back into this year after last year, after making a deep run last year, coming back with that talented group, we got a chance to watch you guys very early on down in the shipyard, and you guys were. It almost looked like midseason form from opening day. We know it wasn't, but it almost looked like that with the talented deep lineup you guys have, and you've kind of been able to hold that thing, but kind of that lineup, man, it doesn't. It's one of those where, as a coach, you got speed, you got power, you got depth, you got age. It's really a fun one to watch, and watching those guys kind of go in there and be able to plug in some younger guys, those older guys. It's been a fun one for, on the outside looking in to watch. I know sometimes y'all probably get some headaches, but from us, it's a fun one to watch. But talk about how building that lineup to get the best of what you're looking for, how to add those pieces in there, how you went about it.
Oh man. Coming into the year, I mean, you guys have talked about it relentlessly, how good some of these players are. And we had some good senior leadership coming back, and they've practiced and in pressure situations every single day. Nothing's easy in our world, and we make practice hard and designed for them to fail. And when it came down to it, I mean, players play. They make the plays, and they bought into the approach that we have at the plate. They're just talented. I mean, honestly, I don't know what else to tell you other than we've got some really talented dudes that fill out our lineup, and they're committed to grinding out at bats and not giving into the strikeout. I mean, we've seen our fair share of really good arms this year, and these guys, they answer the bell every single time. And so you just run the. I don't know. There's probably one of four guys I could put in the leadoff spot and say, hey, get us going. And down there at the shipyard where you guys were watching us, we kind of made a switch middle of the tournament to go with Stowe hitting in the leadoff spot and kind of just set the tone for our lineup. He was seeing the ball really well, and he has all year. And then it just let the guys behind him just do their thing. And really for us, it's any given night is somebody different. And that's been the key to our success so far this year.
Yeah. And obviously the offense, right? That kind of gets a lot of the pub, kind of rolling in everybody, about a bunch of the players offensively. But the one area, and we talked about it a little bit, and probably, it would have been, everybody would have said was, I don't know if they're going to pitch enough. I don't know. But y'all pitched it. Y'all really pitched it. And maybe a little bit of Coach Smith on the outside, which they didn't call him for pitching. But, you guys have pitched it at a high level to this point, and obviously going to continue to do so. But, that's been a thing that stood out. And you got some talented arms, but maybe some guys that I'm outside looking in you might not know about. But that's been an impressive one for us because you knew you were going to score. But I don't care how good your offense is. You're always going to run into a buzzsaw one night. But your pitching staff has kind of held the line all season at this point. Talk about some of those guys.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. That was the question coming into the year. Just like you said, in our individual meetings, it was we feel like our offense is going to be really good. We just don't know how well we're going to throw it. And even early on in preseason, January, February timeframe, it was who's going to emerge. You had Kyle Stock coming back, who was going to give us quality innings. He had built on last year, and Colin Anderson, who's been really, really good for us this year, has just he was a little up and down last year, and he's kind of settled in this year and taking the ball and ran with it. It was good to see him get back on the mound the other night. And then, Taj is another one. He did some really good things as a freshman, and it was just always going to be a matter of whether or not we threw enough strikes. We have a plethora of arms. Were we going to throw enough strikes to be able to compete every night? And those guys have answered the bell. My pitching coach has done an unbelievable job with them, kind of simplifying the game. And we celebrate strikes, and they've answered the bell. And in the late part of the season, Cooper Jones, a freshman for us, left-handed arm, has come a long way, and he's thrown some big innings for us down the stretch here. And we hope that he can continue to be a really good arm out the back end of that bullpen for us.
Now, before I turn this over to Austin, if he can actually have some service here in a little bit, talk about kind of moving forward, what you guys got set up here leading into this championship thing, and what you got, and obviously kind of looking back last year and trying to get some moving forward with everything now.
Oh man, North Myrtle Beach is a really good ball club. You guys have talked about them. They have we've matched up, I think, for the last 3 years with those guys at some point, whether it's in the districts or however. Coach Alderson does a really good job up there. He's got some really talented players. We don't have to talk a whole lot about it. The guys know it. Their guys know it. They know what's at stake. They ended our season last year, unfortunately. We felt like we had a really good club last year. We played them really tough. The way the ball fell last year just didn't go our way. But going into this week, man, it's a series. We hope that we can get on the road tomorrow and get game one at least in before the weather hits and see where the chips fall. I mean, we're gonna. I have a feeling it'll be good on good tomorrow. They lined up well. We lined up well with the arms, and we're just gonna see. It's a tough place to play. It's a good team who's experienced in the lower state bracket. So, who knows where they fall. I'm just happy that this year at least it's got to come back to James Island. And we get the opportunity to play at home at least one more time in front of our fans. And, it traditionally is a little bit of a tough place to play. So we're looking forward to it, man. I just know that I think we're in a good position. We're healthy, and knock on wood right now. And, they look like they're playing their best baseball too. So it should be two good clubs going at it. I think everybody on paper probably had this matchup picked for a long time, and both teams have answered the bell every night and gotten us to this point.
Well, yeah, obviously a loaded 4A group this year, from top to bottom. Some can argue probably the strongest classification in the state, and it's always fun, especially in the lower state, watching you guys kind of match up, the top two big dogs kind of lining it up and swinging it out to see who comes out on top down there. So I know that'll be a fun one. But if Austin has some service over there cruising around, we'll let him sling a few questions at his head coach here.
Austin?
I think I've had service. I think the host kept muting me.
You were too loud there, Austin.
Yeah,
well, I finally outsmarted the system, and I'm not going to tell you what I did, but I did, and we might have some officers of the law listening, and I don't want to get any kind of reprimand here. But I am glad that you gave a shout out to your pitching coach, because contrary to what Bert and Ernie here believe, I am not the pitching coach at James Island. I just wear the hoodie, and we just roll with we're better than yesterday motto. So that's just what we do.
That's right.
So we are definitely
looking
looking forward. I do wish if Sammy would cut the mileage check, I would find a way to come to Charleston and make an appearance at a James Island at one of these games this week, because that's going to be one of the better 3-game series.
He's going to need a hotel though.
Coach, I do cut the mileage check. You just got to go somewhere. I do cut the mileage check.
We'll take care of
the mileage check from Simpson from Greenville to Charleston. That might be strong.
Hey, we're gonna be down there Saturday covering a scout day. So them boys get down there to Sunday. We can make a special trip. I mean, on Friday we can make a special trip on Friday.
Listen, we'll take care of you on the island. We'll make sure you can get here and back and have a full stomach. So you just got to make the trip happen.
Yeah, if we can arrange some trips to the Shem Creek Crab House and maybe the Charleston Sports Pub and something of that sort. I got hookups down there. I've had to start working the system a little bit because hotels are hard to come by in this business. So we can find a place to stay. If I have to, I'll rent an RV or something. But I can promise you this: I will be locked in on the Game Changer live stream, as I was the other night when y'all won on the walk-off 2-run bunt. And I was just and I think if I'd have my stopwatch on me, and I might go back and redo it, if I can get a time when you waved the kid around third base and that sprint that you made from that box to home plate, holy cow, that was impressive.
So. That was certainly a big moment, and some people have texted and called and always say that you need a game like that to make things happen, and it just was a fortunate bounce and a pressure play, and it kind of went the way of the Trojans, and that was a more exciting win than I think I've ever been a part of in my coaching history, at least.
Austin then went quiet.
Yeah, also went quiet on that one. I know we're fired up to watch this one, and we're trying to figure out our own schedules and do stuff. But so how does it match up? So obviously Monday's there, correct?
That's right.
Wednesday's at y'all's place.
That's correct.
Friday's
back to them. Which was news to me last week. I asked that question last week to my AD, and he did some digging and found out that was not a neutral site game. That was back to the top there. So a little tough break, but we'll have chances in game 1 and 2. So
yeah,
if y'all make it to Friday night, I think we need to put in a call to Charlie and see if we can't get a neutral site game, maybe like up here at Fluor Field or something.
How's that neutral?
I think that's a little out of the way, but we'll take.
I don't think neutral necessarily means like. Does neutral necessarily mean in the middle, or it just means not a home game for either team? Because it won't be a home game for either team.
Why don't we're coming down to Charleston anyway Saturday? Won't we have it at the College of Charleston? Are they on the road? We put that thing at the College of Charleston, and we'll come on down and have a good old time.
They got some bugs they got to get rid of.
Right. You'd thought Austin played for the New York Yankees, not Anderson College.
What, the night that me and Drew went and Cat and Eddie went over and watched College Charleston play, there were so many bugs there I couldn't see the shortstop.
It's the time of year now. They're gone, man. You'll be okay this time of year. It's heated up a little bit. The bugs are gone.
Hey, well, I guess I can we can wing it down there. That'd be good. And then me and Drew can get 18 in over at Patriots Point. Call it a weekend.
God almighty.
Look, I just need your working boots on Saturday, and y'all can do whatever you want before.
Gotcha. I'll be there with bells and whistles on.
As always.
As always.
Yeah. Well, I know we're fired up to watch, as you are. You're fired up to get your boys out there and get cranked up. We're fired up to watch you guys go at them. So this will be a heavyweight fight going at it. So this will be a fun one to watch on the outside. I know on the inside it ain't always a fun one, but on the outside it'll be a fun one to be watching.
That's right. It'll be a good one though. It's two good teams going at it, and I think you might have gotten the best two in the lower state. So this one will be fun.
No doubt about it.
Coach, we appreciate you put on. I know I texted you last minute there, but appreciate you hopping on episode 85 here.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me.
We wish you the best of luck, Coach.
All right,
good luck this week, Coach, and further than that if you make it that far.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We'll start working some arrangements up if we need to get down there Friday, and if you need me to make some calls, I can get Charlie on the horn if I need to.
That sounds good. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Austin. Damn.
Austin, where you at right now? Where you at, Austin?
I'm driving through Clemson. I'm probably not far from Drew.
Just stop by the house. You can get on the video with me.
Whoa, that'd be weird.
Anyway, back to our regular scheduled program here. Here we go. We'll go through the brackets, and then right before we get to 3A, we're going to have a video pop up for you guys that we discuss. So 2A Upper State here. How about Gray Collegiate taking down the Predators of Fox Creek? They'll face off against Mid Carolina. Coach, you saw Mid Carolina. Pretty good team.
Very good team. I watched a barn burner of a game. What was that, Friday night? Was that when it was? Yeah, the rain backed up to Friday. Mid Carolina winds up winning. Was a 5-4 hit a solo home run in the bottom of the sixth. I have to check out the scout blogs coming out Monday on that game. But talented arms across the field for both sides, and multiple home runs, and that was a lot of fun, that game. And then Gray throws a shutout against the Predators after multiple rain delays and backs it up. And when they end up playing Saturday night, the Moore Eagles, baby, they end up throwing a shutout, winning 2-0. So big shout out to Coach Yassey and his boys, and they're in the winners bracket against Mid Carolina. So it's lining up there, lining up. But hey, Fox Creek, they got enough firepower to make a run back through there.
So I know
they got to get through strong first.
We're in the winners bracket, losers bracket here in the 2A Upper State. But give me your 2A Upper State champ here.
Put me on the spot here. I'm going with my boy Coach Yassey. You know what I mean? I'm going with Coach Yassey.
Coach Smith?
War Eagle.
I'm sticking with Gray.
Hey, y'all always go with the grain. Give me Fox Creek. I'm sticking with them. I've been with them. I think they come all the way back after losing the first game. Watch out.
We shall see.
Man. That's tough.
We got a big matchup on Monday with Buford sitting there with 2 losses on the year, taking on Oceanside at beautiful Shipyard Park. Andrew Jackson got into the lower state championship bracket after finishing 3rd or 4th in the region. Can't remember exactly. So who we got here?
How about the names of the two teams in the loser bracket? Andrew Jackson versus Andrews.
It's kind of
my PA guy that night. He's gonna have a rough go at it.
He ain't gonna know what to say.
He's gonna call AJ and Andrews. That's still gonna be. That's too much.
We'll have to do mascots.
I'm going with Buford. I'm gonna go with Coach Stewie's pick on this one. I'm going Buford.
I didn't go Oceanside earlier. I picked Bishop England to come out of that district. So
Yeah,
the Oceanside people probably don't want me on their train, but I'm getting on it. Sorry.
No, you picked Bishop England to take down Buford.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That was a long time ago. I don't know what I picked.
I'm sticking with the Jackets at Buford. I think they roll through Land Sharks.
Roll Tide.
All right, now we move to 3A.
Controversy.
Oh,
A lot of controversial plays, and we take this one back to when was the district championships? Was it Thursday?
Well, all these rainouts got me confused, but I think
depends
it was
on which district you're in.
So this was last week. This is while Union County and Blue Ridge were on a 3-week delay. This was for the district championship. Game 1, we have a 1-1 ball game in the bottom of the 7th. And this is what transpired. We have a walk-off interference call for Powdersville to take the game versus Seneca. The controversial play of the year, not of the week. What do we have right here? And we can put it back up on the big screen. We can slow it down a little bit, and we can really break this down. This is what we do at Prep Baseball, South Carolina. What do we have, boys?
You know, the word on the street from more so came out of your mouth, Drew, from a high school umpire, the guy who places, it was technically the accurate call. The hard thing for me in this whole thing is, to me, the catcher was never really blocking the plate. He was trying to catch the baseball, and it's a baseball play. He goes to catch the ball. The kid took the world's worst turn rounding third to get to home and slid into home. It was a baseball play, and I get it. Maybe by the high school rule, he was interfering with the runner, but it's just a hard play for me. What's the catcher supposed to do? Let the ball go to the backstop?
It's a tough call.
It's tough because, to me, as the catcher, you're moving to go catch the ball. He's not attempting to block the plate. Maybe in the act of catching, he is therefore blocking the plate because of his feet are in the way, but he is not actively trying to block that plate. And then it becomes a judgment call, which puts all miserable parts on the umpire. And he makes a call, right, wrong, or indifferent. It was going to be wrong on someone's part. I don't know. Let's turn it over to our umpire, Austin.
Yeah, Austin, you're the umpire and the coach. What you got?
I didn't get to see the video replay. Now, I did text you that night as I was sitting at Fountain Inn. I watched it. I asked you what the call was because the way the video cut off, I couldn't tell we really couldn't tell what was transpiring. I guess I was wondering what he what was verbalized there as far as this is what happened. But no, I'm not. From both sides of that, I feel like I could get in a lot of trouble either way. So I'm not going to bite off on any of that. But if by the letter of the high school rule book that is considered interference, then I'm good with it. Just from that side of it, I understand in that spot.
Losing. Okay, Austin.
We lost Austin.
So if you go look at the rule book, as it was explained to me, you cannot be in front of the plate without the ball. And at this current juncture in the video, he does not have the ball. Even though you're receiving the ball, you cannot be in front of the plate.
So is he therefore in front of the? Is he in front of the plate? I know that.
Yeah, if you look at his right leg, it's right there at the line. So therefore, he's in front of the plate.
I didn't know if he's therefore because of the off angle of it a little bit. If he's
so by the letter of the rule book, it is. Now, obviously, you got to have some huevos to make that call there for an interference. But I want to get on this pedestal real quick for you. Austin, we can't. You're breaking up.
come over to AT&T, Austin.
No,
AT&T cell phone service.
We got you. Go ahead, Austin.
I was gonna back our umpire for a little bit, but I guess
that's what I was about to get to, Austin. You can add in on this, and I want to get on this pedestal for a minute. We've seen a lot of umpires through games. Are there some bad calls throughout games? Yes, everybody's gonna make mistakes, but to a point that fans are making threats towards an umpire, I think that's inexcusable in high school baseball. As let's be honest, guys, these umpires aren't making a lot of money. But they're out there for the love of the game, and we're getting threats because of a call. Now, these threats aren't coming from kids. I think at some point some people need to grow up and realize that it's just a game.
100%. These guys this is a part-time gig for these guys. They're coming from a full-time job, coming over here for a little bit of money as a side hustle because they love high school baseball, and they're covering a game. And right, I was not the same situation, but I was at a game the other night. It's the same thing. Guy misses a call, makes a call, whatever it is, however it goes about, and they're ready to take the guy's head off. And this guy's out there calling a game for fun, for the love of it, and he can't do anything right. And this poor guy, he is in a lose-lose situation here. If he calls him out, the Powdersville side goes nuts.
Yes.
Right? I mean, it doesn't matter. He calls him safe. Obviously, the other side goes nuts. So he's going to lose. And as we all know, umpires always lose. Right? Everybody's mad at all the major league umpires, and they're 96% accurate on balls and strikes. And they want robo umpires. 96% accurate. Try doing that every night of your life.
Yeah. Austin, you want to add in?
Yeah, and it's not gonna. It probably won't make the Seneca people. I mean, it's not gonna make them feel any better, and I mean, they're not gonna be fans of it. But if the way the rule book is worded, by what you just said, he made the correct call, and if I haven't really gotten overly familiar with the situation. I don't know anything about people threatening anybody or anything like that. But if that's the case, number one, like you said, these guys are part-time. This guy, I know this guy. And to be completely honest with you, after coaching in the state for 6 years and umpiring for several years, he's probably just as overall top 10 umpires in the state. And that's just the truth, because if you go look at all the big games, he's there and he's behind the plate a lot. And there's a reason for that. They don't just go pull Jimmy off the street and say, hey, you worked JV game last week. Come out here and hop. Like, that's not how that works. And so to take a guy who's that good of an umpire, who knows the rule book the way he does, and if he made that call correctly, then even if it wasn't correct, there's no reason to go threatening anybody. But this is, you know, the rules are in there for a reason, and his job and the other 2-3 guys, however many of the guys they had, their job is to officiate the game with the rule book as it's written. It's not to say, well, you know, this is interference unless it's the 7th inning of a tight game. It's interference if it's interference, and it's never going to be a good time to make calls. Like in a football game, pass interference, holding. You know, sometimes it ends somebody's season, but they're not going to like it. You know, sorry. It's never a good time to throw that flag or make that call, but if it's the right call, it's the right call, and it's over. And, you know, that's my 2 cents on it. And like I said, I like the guy. He's a good umpire. One of the better this state has to offer. And for anybody to take that personally towards him is, that's not fair to him or any of the other guys that do it.
Well, and let's be honest, obviously, right? You hit it on the head. Sometimes a call is wrong or right, whatever it is, right? It might be a bad call. We've all seen it. The bad call changes the game. If this is gone by the rules, if that's the rule, then he made the right call. So therefore, we are mad about the right call, which we should be mad at ourselves for being mad at that, if that's the thing. So did it go against your team and we're mad about that? I get it. We're all, people are fans, right? The term fan comes from fanatic, right? We all understand that. But if the call is off the rule, then he made the right call. So therefore, you can only be mad because it went against you, not because the call was wrong.
Yes.
It's the right call. And let's be honest, most coaches out there, 99.9% of coaches appreciate everything umpires do. There's always that outsider that hates every umpire, doesn't matter. But 99.9, probably more percent than that, appreciate the hard work these umpires do. And you know what? Somebody's going to go yell at them and argue with them and get thrown out. That's part of baseball. It's been going on forever. It doesn't mean they hate the guy or they think he's the worst human being in the world. It's just part of the game, right? Even though they're getting rid of it, especially at the college level. But it happens. But they appreciate, and it's a very thankless job that these guys do, right? And they work from 9 to 5, and they go out there and they umpire this game, and then they go home and go see their family late at night, and it's a tough job that guys have, And do they miss calls? Of course, but that guy at that point in time, if that's the rule, he got it right.
Well, we got to. I think for high school baseball or any level of baseball in general, we got to get something you said there about putting that into perspective. It's fair to be upset that the call didn't go your way. Just like it's fair to be upset with the coach when he makes a decision that doesn't work out for your team. It's fair to be upset with the coach when your kid's not playing, but it's not fair to take it against that person personally. There's a difference in that. Like, you sit in the bleachers and be mad your son ain't playing that all day long, but you start taking shots personally at the coach, that's a problem. It's fair to be upset that this guy that this guy made the call that scored the run that ended your team's season. It's fair to get in the car and say, man, I can't, I'm mad that happened. But not taking it out towards him. It's not, the call wasn't wrong just because you didn't like it. Just like the coach not playing your son doesn't mean he's wrong. You just don't like it. There's a difference.
It means you didn't do enough field work. Right, Coach Smith?
Right. That's exactly
do a
right.
Bit more volunteer.
You got to sign up on the weekend and go paint a dugout. You boy get in the game. I just think that there's a line there. It's fair. Like I said, it's fair to. You don't have to agree with what he calls. Odds are every call somebody's going to be mad. Very rarely is the umpire going to make both teams happy in one play. I mean, that's just how the game works. But to get in the car thinking that he personally took a shot at your team, and I'm sure, as some of the people have said, screwed us out of our season. Well, there was a lot of other things that played into the season being over besides an interference call at home plate. Yeah, it's tough to see it in that way, but like I said a minute ago, that's the way the rule book's written. There's not a little section below there that says don't make this a call in a big game in a big spot. Like they don't, it's not there. It's not, strike zones, kneecaps to chest, unless it's the seventh inning, and then we're going to shrink it down to the belt buckle. No, that's not what it says. So, he probably, and I'm going to say this, last thing I'm going to say to him, he probably has not heard it this week. Probably been a tough week for him, but, good for you, Seneca people. I'm sorry. Y'all had a good season, but he didn't cost you your season. Sounds like he made the correct call by the rule book. So congratulations to you, sir. Good job. I'm done.
Thank you, Austin.
You're welcome.
You're great for that. And speaking of that leads us into the 3A Upper State, where Powdersville was propelled into the Upper State, and they took down Blue Ridge, who was on a 1 month rain delay. And Powdersville will take on Daniel now. How about the Payne boys are rolling in Daniel? And Fountain Inn take on Blue Ridge. Who's our pick here for 3A Upper State champ?
Ooh. I have to stick with Powdersville. They just keep figuring it out.
Coach Smith?
I like that Daniel train. I like where they're headed. I like that Fountain Inn train. I like them. That's a tough bracket, but I just think Powdersville, with the way, especially the way some of those chips fell, I think Powdersville's in a really, really good spot right now. I'd be shocked if they don't win that thing. Give me Powdersville.
They got Fowler against Daniel. Daniel throw Purcell, but I think my pick's going to hold strong here in that preseason pick of Powderville in the state championship. Everyone doubted it, but however, I think the Fury roll into Blue Ridge and beat them.
Can we talk? I want to talk about them for a second, if we can.
Go ahead.
I know, but both. One, I'll say this about Blue Ridge: for them to put up with what they put up with last week, but don't sleep on those guys with their arms being able to come out of that losers bracket if they can get them lined back up. I think they might have to beat Fountain Inn, but then they might could get some stuff lined back up where they got a shot, but. Fountain Inn on the flip side of that, I know we had and I told him I would put a plug in for the exact quote was, the Fury aren't just nice hats. We got good ball players too. So I called Sammy the other night and told him, Drew, that was a surprise for you. I got a side note on the Fury hats too. I hate that you can't see me in person tonight, but I'm not going to say anything else on the situation. But the Fury, I will say this: I loaded up, went up there. I don't even remember what day that was, Monday, Tuesday, something like that, and got off to a bad start on the way in the door. But after that, the game was really good. And those guys, Josh, I talked about them for 20 minutes last week on the show, so I'm going to cut it down this week. Again, they have nobody older than a junior. They've been playing varsity baseball for 2 years, and they just won a district championship. But that team, man, they're good. They got a tough road ahead of them as far as this season to try to get out of that losers bracket with some of the firepower that's in that bracket. But those guys, man, that lineup 1 through 9, the Holtzy kid, he just hits every time I show up. And he's hitting down to, spot in the lineup that maybe I was like, well, maybe he struggled a little bit since the last time I saw him hit that walk-off home run. But the dude just, he had 4 RBIs the other night. All he does is hit. They got they can play. The dad was right. They got nice hats and they got nice players. So that's all.
Coach, he's lucky. He's lucky you were able to get in that game. You almost didn't make your way in there.
It was tough, but again, that coaching staff, though, those guys, they take care of it. It was a full. I'm not biting off anything else about getting in the door, but those guys, man, he had my table set up again, a chair, and it was a packed house. I think everybody in the Golden Strip area was at that game. And
did you need cash?
I had a front row seat, so It's fortunately I am a guy who carries his cash on me at any given time. I'm old and I like to, I like to make sure just in case the world shuts down, I like to have cash on me. So,
but was it a cash only deal?
Coach, I'm not biting off any more anything else related to the ball game. We're good.
I'm just asking a question because I like, if it's not, then I would never get into a game. I never have cash.
To my knowledge, well, some of them you can do that thing online where you can do. I don't remember what they call it. But you can buy that ticket ahead of time.
Oh yeah,
the ticket. You walk in and show it to them. So
how about this?
Shout out to the Fury. Good for y'all.
All 4 teams in the 3A Upper State bracket, Coach, did a high school preview show with Prep Baseball South Carolina. So the moral of the story here is if you want to play deep in the playoffs, get with us in the preseason.
You got to hop on.
That's it. All 4.
That's a tough one. That's a tough region.
Now that I look at that to see that bracket on paper like that, that's tough. You got 2 D1 arms on the team in that losers bracket right there that can very well come out of that thing.
Yeah. 3A Lower State here. Hanahan has punched their ticket to the Lower State Championship. They'll face Waccamaw or Camden. Hanahan baseball they should change their name to Clemson baseball. As they have.
It's a tough saying after this weekend. I don't know if they won that.
Okay, let's say the first 2 months of Clemson baseball. That's what they're going to call them. They continue to win in the late innings. Who we got for the 3A Lower State Chip? I know it's kind of
Hanahan. No knocking anyone else there. Hanahan. Bunch of good teams.
Waccamaw's had a good year. Congratulations
Camden.
to them because it's
same with Camden.
Yep, and Waccamaw, I think that they did something that a lot of teams have a hard time with. Is they had that game at their place the other night where they had to get beat twice, and they lost that first game and were able to rally back and win. And
in a tight one too.
I mean, it's kind of beating a dead horse here to say that anybody that we're talking about right now has had a good year. Everybody playing right now has had a good year. So, good for them. And but yeah, Hanahan's got a little something going down there in the water, and they're going to be tough to beat. So give me Hanahan.
Hanahan sticking with the Stewie Hawks. I know we talked about Hannah's guy, but their social media guy, videographer, fantastic as well. Go check out their Instagram, Twitter. They put up some really good reels. First class down there at Hanahan.
Good music with it as well.
Yes.
I mean,
we've lost touch.
You're getting old. I'm already old. Austin ain't that old, but he's old.
Austin would have Boys to Men playing behind the reel. Let's hope Hanahan can hold up their end of the bargain, make my preseason pick look really good here. Now, moving to the 4A, the Upper State Championship is set. We've got the Green Boys facing the Green Wave, or the It Ain't Easy. Big one here is Lawrence will host game 1. They took down Catawba Ridge. Didn't even allow them to play 2 games. Beat them in the first game pretty well. Then they'll travel to Easley on Wednesday and back to Lawrence on Friday if necessary. Coach Espo, who we got?
It ain't easy, but Lawrence done took down Catawba Ridge. I'm going with Lawrence in this one. I guess they got Goss lined up, right, for game 1?
I would think so, yes.
I would assume. I know Easley got something cracking up there, and it ain't easy up there, but Lawrence got that mojo rolling right now, and they take down Catawba Ridge, and they kind of took them down. I'm not going to say easily. Ha! You like that? But they took down Catawba Ridge, so I'm going with Lawrence in this one.
Coach Smith.
You can tell easily here who the dad of the 3 of us is. I will say this: that Easley team, man. I say it every week. They're good. They're really good. It ain't easy, but I'm gonna tell you something else. I wouldn't want no part of having to. You're gonna have to go into Lawrence and beat them at their place at least one time. And I think just that fact right there, that the way the cards fell, Lawrence is not. Trust me, been there, done that. That's not a place you want to go, and have to and try to take. I don't mean that as a shot against the city or town or wherever they are. I just mean going into that stadium at nighttime, beating that team is going to be tough. So they have a. Y'all, here's the problem. The problem with y'all is y'all take things that I say too literally. I spent a whole weekend in Lawrence. I have no problem with Lawrence. The problem is going into Lawrence at, I think the name of their field's like Ed Prescott Stadium or something like that.
At night.
That's just a tough place to go. I never had any luck down there. So,
I don't think anybody does.
Yeah.
Unless you get stopped by a train.
Wow.
Hey, this is a tough one. Lawrence took down Catawba Ridge. But printed in it's printed in the papers. It's throughout the entire state. It ain't easy beating Easley. I think they played 3 games by the Green Wave. How about this? They lose game 1, but they get Owens back for game 2 on Wednesday. I think they beat Lawrence, and I think they go to Traintown on that Friday and win.
I
Friday
think
night, get right down there.
Easily can very well win that series. Don't get me wrong, but if they got to go to Lawrence on Friday night, I give me the Green Boys because that. Sorry,
but it ain't easy.
It ain't easy. It ain't easily. It ain't all those things. But I can tell you what actually ain't easy is going to Lawrence and winning 2 ball games. So
all they got to do is win 1.
Yeah, but if they got to go down there Friday, good luck. I'm just saying.
Hey,
Friday night Lawrence is a different atmosphere. Trust me. Been there, done that.
Prep baseball will be in attendance on Wednesday, May the 15th.
There you go.
I can't make the trip down to Lawrence. Anyway, we got the 4A Lower State Championship. Now, we've got James Island taking on North Myrtle Beach in a rematch of the district championship last year in 4A. James Island will travel to North Myrtle, game 1, at James Island, game 2, and then back to North Myrtle for game 3 if necessary. Coach Espo, we just had Coach Spivey on. Are you sticking with the Island boys?
You know, on paper, right, you would give the pitching to North Myrtle, right? Obviously, Luke Rope on the front end. They got other horses floating around there, and they got talented offense as well. James Island on paper, you would tend to say they got the better offense. I think in this one, I'm going to go with our boys, the Island boys, and give it to James Island. I think they got something special rolling this year. I think their pitching has been something special. We all know about their offense. It's deep, it's power, it's speed. Anybody in that lineup has a chance to beat you. And they can do it in multiple ways and have a deep pitching staff as well. And they got some arm strength and they got some versatility in there. And I don't know. We've had a chance to see them both. I just think that offense can do it in multiple different ways. I'm sticking with James Island.
Coach Smith?
I think you know who I'm going with.
All right, we'll skip over it. He's going with the Island boys.
I think it's going to be a good series. I really do. But
yeah.
I mean, it would be really tough for me to jump off that wagon right now.
Now, give us a week when Lawrence maybe plays James Island. We'll see what Austin fills in.
If I got Green Boys versus Island Boys, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Just take the boys.
Just like if I've got Powdersville versus Hanahan. We'll see when we get there.
People's going to get some tough spots here in the next few weeks. I believe that.
Got to get there first.
I agree.
Now, North Myrtle has not hit the ball as well in the playoffs. James Island has. North Myrtle, like you said, Coach, better on paper on pitching. However, I'm going to have to stick with my yearly pick that I started in preseason, midseason. Give me the Chiefs in their fantastic uniforms.
Watch out now.
To win in 3 games. Give me the Chiefs.
The positive for James Island, then they won't have to go eat that seafood place because it's closed down. You guys were talking about.
Yeah, mighty. If it was still open, I'd go down there May 17th.
Just to eat the food and then leave. We wouldn't even watch the game.
I'd just set my camera up and I'd go in the restaurant. I'd tweet stuff out later. So you move to 5A here. The last bracket is 5A Upper State. The Fighting Lever Huckses are in the Upper State Championship. They took down man.
Coach, time out. Let's talk about this. Let's reenact Friday night.
I'll reenact it since you were listening live with me. So we go
me and
to
my son. Yeah,
go ahead.
Me and my son. Let's set it up first. I took me and my son. He came with me. We were at Mid Carolina against Strom Thurmond. We're coming back. I'm getting the updates of the scores from Coach Stewie, and he pulls up the Lexington Dutch Fork game. And at that point in time, Dutch Fork was up 5-3.
Yep,
was
5-3.
Going to the bottom of the 7th.
Right. There was 2 outs, 2 quick outs. Lexington gets like a single, another single, and a walk. So we load the bases with 2 outs. Coach, I'm giving Coach updates pitch by pitch. Ball 1, strike 1.
And my son is keeled over in the car. Like he's, for some reason at this moment in time, he don't know nothing about any of them. He was anti-Dutch Fork and was all about the Wildcats at this moment in time. I don't know why. I can't answer that. He was keeled over in the front seat. Anxiety was killing him with hanging on the edge, wanting to hear what was going on.
We get a bases loaded double to score 2 to tie the game. So we've got runners on second and third. And I knew at this point Lever was probably soiling himself. Lever probably had to change his pants after a game. We get a pass ball to walk the game off, and Lexington wins at 6-5 to advance to play man.
Incredible. Down 2 to score 3.
And I texted Lever. I just said, Lever, one word. Incredible. And his response back was, dude, I've never seen anything like that before. In all caps, unbelievable. So Lever had to check himself after the game.
Do you think he might have been in the middle of changing out a blast sensor too while he was at it?
He could have. We'll get to see him very soon, possibly. At events and maybe an upper state championship. Never know.
Yeah.
Coach, are we sticking with Lexington to win the upper state championship?
Yeah, they're sitting in that winners bracket. They got some mojo going. Coach Hucks, Coach Lever got the boys rolling. Spivey hitting tanks as a freshman down there. The older boys, Burton leading them in the front end of the rotation. They got some mojo going there. I'm sticking with the Wildcats.
Coach Smith.
Yeah, I'm going to stay in Lexington too. I feel like man has gotten they're starting to play the kind of ball that we thought they would early on, and they definitely have the arms to get out of that loser's bracket. But I do think Lexington having already beaten Hunter Howard, I think they got the leg up, so I'm gonna go with them.
Yeah, I think
Dorman's playing the ball we all thought they were going to play too. They kind of hit that spell, kind of the pieces in there. Big shot, Coach Jolly. He is another coach on the coaches show, but they're playing the same ball too. They're just as talented, so they got a chance.
Yeah, this bracket is not surprising. If you'd have told me this is what that bracket was going to look like at the beginning of the year, I'd say, yeah, you're probably right. But I think some of them took a little bit of a strange route to get to this point of that bracket.
Yeah. I think Lexington wins it. I think man obviously has a shot with the arms they have. But ultimately Lexington sitting in the driver's seat, got to get beat twice. So I think they take it here. 5A Lower State sets up a matchup with Somerville West Ashley on Monday, and Ashley Ridge and Berkeley. How about Ashley Ridge getting into the Lower State Championship round? Now,
more controversy.
This is interesting.
We've had more controversy in this bracket.
Yeah, let's start with that. Somerville beats Berkeley 2-0. Now, if you go back and look, Coach, it was the top of the fifth.
Berkeley, I think
Berkeley had 2 on with 2 outs with their best hitter up.
Yeah, and the rain and the field conditions, bang, boom, bop, ball game.
Somerville advances.
Take it to the house. Somerville wins.
Not a big fan of that, but who we got winning?
Monday night, tough matchup. You think West Ashley is going to be throwing lefty's going to be on the mound for them? I'm assuming. Somerville got Drew Hayes going. So you got a couple good arms going at it. Ooh. And then you got Berkeley and Ashley Ridge kind of floating. I got to stick with my pick that I guess I went at the beginning of the year and stick with Somerville in this one. They've had some ebbs and flows of the year, talk about it, but they're right there at the crack at it.
I think I'm gonna go West Ashley. I think if Matty Brown's pitching, I like their chances. I saw him early. He's tough to beat, so I think I'm gonna go West Ashley. Although Somerville again, just like some of those teams in the upper state, they're where we thought they would be. They just didn't really take the route to get there that we thought they were going to take. So Give me West Ashley, but Summerville could make it tough.
Once again, I've got to stick with my pick in the preseason. I took West Ashley to win the state championship, and I think they take down Summerville to advance to the lower state championship. Matty Brown, I think he took down Summerville earlier in the year. I think he continues that in this game. I think West Ashley coach sitting pretty. But who knows? I could be wrong. Usually I'm not. But anyway, the predictions are in. We still got a whole week of baseball left before we get into the state championship breakdown. And maybe we'll have to do a little earlier show. Hey, guys. No, we can't. We can go live at 5:30 in the morning from Cane Bay High School on Saturday. Austin won't be there. We might have to do you a show on Friday. Maybe. We'll see where we are.
We also got more weather in the forecast coming this week, so no telling where we'll be at.
And that could change some things with some guys with arms.
Yeah, because we got some people that are out until maybe the state championship if they got there, and you back it up and you keep backing up days. You never know if kind of adjust and changes sometimes. I think I got to throw a shout out into my son's team while we're talking about some coming through the loser bracket. Big game Wednesday, staved off elimination on Saturday, so we're continuing on in the loser bracket. We'll see. Austin. There's a chance Wednesday they're playing the Big Red Box. We'll find out tomorrow what happens.
Might have to stop by on my way to James Allen.
Well, Wednesday.
There's a chance. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow in the playoffs. But Pennington Law coming in hot Wednesday, 6:45. We'll see what happens.
Are you in charge of the snacks or what? What's your job?
No, thank God we have a concession stand for that, which is
perfect.
My daughters and everybody else's kids that aren't playing in that, the amount of money that gets spent at the canteen is extraordinary. That's why I don't give you guys mileage checks. I got to keep paying the canteen.
My mileage fee is being spent on Nerd Roast and Dippin' Dots.
I mean, it's a plus canteen, but I mean, that would be a good coach. They got a taco in the bag. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's very cheap, but it's phenomenal.
It's very cheap, but phenomenal.
Fritos with some cheese and some taco meat. Pretty good. You can get other toppings in that, but we just stick with the meat and cheese. It's a tough smell at a Saturday afternoon game when it's 80 degrees. It kind of gives a tough stench, but
that's kind of big time. Coach Austin, do you have anything to add to this beautiful podcast while we're sitting here?
No, I'm good. I think we've covered everything that there was a couple of situations I thought we might bite off, and I'm glad we didn't. But it was good. I enjoyed it. I'm glad we're getting to back our umpire earlier. We're good.
Look, everybody always hates the umpires, always hates the refs. They always hate them, right? Doesn't matter what sport it is, right? They always the officials. But those guys, at the end of the day, they should do a good job. And it's, and especially these high school guys that roll out there for, I don't know, Austin, what's the pay up to these days? $80, $90 a game? And
I think the game is like 92, and then you get travel based on where you're going.
Yeah, and in all essence, you're getting paid $92 to get yelled at by two fan bases
for 2 to 3 hours,
and maybe mixing a couple calls here and there.
Yeah,
really.
And heaven forbid you be that first base ump or whatever, and you get maybe one tight call a game.
Yeah, you don't want to miss that one,
because that one they light you up for a while for one call. Hey, so they get paid the big bucks.
That's exactly right. Since Austin has nothing to add, Coach Espo, do you have anything to add?
I don't. Again, just shout out to all our great listeners, and obviously we got, high school baseball is winding down for us personally. Events starting to crank up. Huge scout day coming up this weekend. Then we get to June 5th down at the College of Charleston. We got our first Team Carolina trials. And then big tournament down there in Charleston, the Shipyard we'll be covering. And then July 2nd, our second Team Carolina trials at the University of South Carolina. But then before that, we go to June 11th and 12th, our border battle at North Carolina, which we could shut down the rosters right now. We have, a couple classes. We have spots we can fill, but numbers-wise, we can shut that thing down. So events are off to a hot start. And kind of throw this out, I had a text from a coach on this other day, and he said, I have a player of mine whose family's asking if they should attend this. And he kind of said he's maybe a lower tier college player. Is this important to him? And I kind of want to go to this, and I'm not going to throw out a name, but Drew, we got a message on Twitter the other day for a player who committed to a junior college and thanked us for, in essence, not for what me or you or Austin individually did, but what the platform does for showcasing and promoting these players. So, and that's what I told the coach. I go, hey, if these players have a thought and they're any level of college player, what the platform, what prep baseball provides for these young men is the opportunity to promote them. And if they're going off to any level of college, it is definitely worth it. If this player has no thought of going off to college, then that's a different story. But if this player has a thought and has a chance of going to whether it's South Carolina, Clemson, and LSU, or a junior college, Division III, NAIA, anywhere in between, yes, it's definitely worth it. And there's a lot of those players across the state, all kinds of levels. So our events, at the end of the day, I know they are money. They do cost money, but across the broad spectrum of what it is out there, it's a discounted rate across a lot of companies that go. So, we don't sit here and set our own costs, and we're going to charge this guy more, kind of like Austin joked on the umpires or the family members. But it's a lower cost, and it provides these families an opportunity to not only promote their own players or the kids, but also they can also better themselves from these events and what we provide with the analytics and the videos across the board. So, these events are coming up quick, and we don't have a ton of them we do a lot of scout days in the summer, but from prep baseball South Carolina events, we don't have a ton of them. We run a few and we try to promote and try to get these kids out there and promote them the best we can. And hopefully it leads to our bigger invite only events, whether it's the border battle or top prospects in the summer, or, at the end of the day, the junior futures, the future games, or now that senior future games, or ultimately the All-American game and the Super 60 nationally. So we got some big ones coming up, and we're fired up to get those things going, but get through high school ball first.
We're almost there, and then the big summer comes toward us. So, hey, since we're all wrapped up here, that'll do us for episode 85. Always remember that it ain't easy. So from all of us here at Prep Baseball South Carolina, we hope you have a great week.